Have you ever seen a photo that made you stop and look twice? Today, we're sharing 10 of the most mind-bending photos that will make you do just that. From floating boats to two-headed dogs, these images play tricks on your eyes and challenge your perception. Get ready to be amazed and maybe even a little confused as we explore these incredible optical illusions. Let's jump right in and see what makes these pictures so extraordinary. 1. This dad has a quite big head. At first glance, this family photo seems perfectly normal, until you notice something unusual about the dad. His head looks enormous compared to the rest of his body and those around him. But before you start thinking he has an unusually large head, take a closer look. This is a clever trick of perspective. The dad's head is positioned directly behind the mom's body, and her shorts create a perfect illusion that makes his head appear much larger than it actually is. It's all about the angle and how our brains interpret the image. Such photos remind us how easily our perception can be fooled by simple optical illusions. So, next time you snap a photo, pay attention to the alignment. You might just create your own funny optical illusion. 2. That man looks like he's wearing a pretty dress. In this photo, we see a man who seems to be standing casually near a fountain. But wait, what's that? At first glance, it looks like he's wearing a pretty frilly dress. How could this be? Well, it's all about the timing and positioning. The water from the fountain is shooting up right behind him, creating the perfect illusion of a flowing dress. The angle and the precise moment the photo was taken make it look like he's embracing his inner fashionista. It's a perfect example of how our brains can be tricked by visual alignments and timing. These spontaneous moments caught on camera can turn an ordinary scene into something hilariously extraordinary. So next time you're around fountains, watch out. You might just end up looking like you're wearing a water dress. 3. There's a small man riding on this lady's back. This photo shows a group of friends enjoying a boat ride, but something strange catches your eye. Look closely, and you'll notice what appears to be a tiny man riding on the back of the lady in the middle. But of course, it's just another clever optical illusion. The man sitting on the bench in the background is perfectly aligned with the lady in the foreground, making it look like he's tiny and perched on her back. The angle, distance, and timing create this amusing effect. It's a fun reminder of how easily our eyes can be deceived by perspective. Next time you're taking group photos, pay attention to what's happening in the background. You might capture your own hilarious optical illusion. 4. This guy has some long legs. In this photo, you see a guy relaxing on a bench enjoying the beautiful view. But hold on a second. Does he have incredibly long legs? It sure looks that way. This amusing optical illusion is created by the perfect alignment of two people. The man's upper body is in the foreground, while the legs actually belong to another person sitting behind the bench. The angle and timing make it look like those legs are his, giving the illusion of an unusually tall man with incredibly long legs. It's a great example of how our brains can be easily tricked by perspective. Always be mindful of your surroundings when taking photos. You might capture something unexpectedly hilarious like this. 5. How long is that puppy? Take a look at this photo, and you might think you've discovered the world's longest puppy. At first glance, it looks like this dog has an incredibly elongated body, but don't be fooled. This is another clever optical illusion. The trick here is that there are actually two dogs standing in perfect alignment with each other. The dog in the front has its head and shoulders visible, while the second dog behind it has its body perfectly aligned, making it appear as one super long dog. This fun perspective trick highlights how easily our eyes can be deceived by positioning. It's a hilarious reminder to always look twice. Things might not be what they seem at first glance. 6. This person's hand looks like a foot. This photo might make you look twice. At first glance, it appears as though this person's hand has transformed into a foot, but take a closer look and you'll see what's really happening. The person is actually touching their foot with their hand, but the angle and the position of their arm create an optical illusion that makes their hand appear unusually large and foot-like. This clever alignment tricks your brain into seeing something quite bizarre. It's a perfect example of how our eyes can be deceived by perspective and positioning. Always take a second look. Things might not be as strange as they first seem. 7. It looks like he has horns. Alright, check out this next photo. At first glance, it looks like this person has grown a pair of horns. I mean, who knew people could just sprout horns like that, right? But hold on, let's take a closer look. What's really happening here is a perfectly timed shot where the horns of a cow in the background line up exactly with the person's head. It creates this hilarious illusion that makes it seem like the horns are actually his. It's all about perspective and timing. Photos like these are a great reminder to always be aware of your surroundings. You never know when you might capture something unexpectedly funny. Keep your eyes peeled for those accidental photo gems. 8. Does this dog have two heads? Alright you guys, take a look at this one. At first glance, it looks like we've got a two-headed dog on our hands. Crazy, right? But don't worry, this isn't some kind of mutant dog situation. What's actually happening here is that two dogs are standing so perfectly in line with each other that it creates the illusion of a single dog with two heads. The angle and timing of this shot are just spot on, making it look like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. This is a great example of how a perfectly timed photo can trick our eyes into seeing something wild. Always keep an eye out for these unexpected and funny moments. They make for some of the best photos. 9. The floating boat. Alright, check this out. At first glance, it looks like this boat is floating in midair above the water. Crazy, right? But don't worry, boats haven't started flying just yet. What's actually happening here is a stunning optical illusion caused by the incredibly clear water. The shadow of the boat on the seafloor makes it appear as if the boat is hovering above the surface. The water is so transparent that it creates this magical floating effect. It's a perfect example of how nature and perspective can play tricks on our eyes. Next time you're out by the water, look closely. You might just see something that blows your mind like this. 10. Two heads in one jacket. This last photo is sure to leave you scratching your head. At first glance, it looks like one person has two heads poking out of a single jacket. But don't worry, no one has magically grown an extra head. What's really happening here is that two people are sharing a large jacket, and their positioning makes it look like they're part of one body. The person in the back is leaning forward just enough to create this amusing and confusing illusion. It's a perfect example of how perspective and positioning can create unexpected and funny outcomes. Always be ready for those spontaneous moments that turn ordinary situations into extraordinary photo ops. Wasn't that mind-blowing? If these photos made you look twice, make sure to hit the like button and share your favorite in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon so you never miss out on our fun and intriguing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.